Hey everybody, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro here for Hope is Not a Tactic, the school safety and security show. I get a lot of questions about equipment. What kind of equipment should I use? What kind of products should I use? Who do you recommend, Lieutenant Joe? Well, I got to tell you, when I was school safety director, I was inundated with people who sold products. They came to me every single day, phone calls, they wanted to have meetings, show me their stuff. And my district bought before I got there, they bought a very, very expensive visitor management platform kind of a thing. It was way too expensive for what they needed. It didn't work the way it did. It was a waste of a lot of money, but they didn't know any better. And this is what I found as a director. I was inundated with these people, these salespeople who, a lot of good salespeople out there, no doubt, but they all have a product to sell and they want you to buy it and they make it sound like you can't live without it. So what I did is I had to go vet a lot of these products. I had to go look and see which products are actually good. And the way I looked at it was if my children were in that school, would I be happy with those products being there? So right off the bat, I got Riot Tint here. Now I've talked about them before. Riot Tint, they make glass safety glazing. The reason that they're up on my wall is because I believe in them. I believe in their product. I believe in their team. I've met with them. I've talked. I've seen the demonstrations, and I've seen lots of products, lots of security glass glazing that goes on the windows to keep the glass from being knocked out, so people can keep out of the school. But Riot Tint is one that I believed in enough to ask them to come on and sponsor the show. So if you're looking for that kind of a product, there it is riottint.com. Go take a look. You won't be sorry. They got lots of different kinds of products that match all the needs that you have. And it's something I recommend in every assessment that I do. All right, so that is one thing because you need to glaze that glass. If you look at any of my writings on this topic, first thing you do is lock your doors. Next thing you do is you glaze that glass. You cover it with safety film, right, for safety and security of the kids. So that's why I believe in them. All right. Another thing that we look at is how do you call for help? So my article, there's an article I wrote out there. I'm trying to think. It was published by Campus Safety Magazine. A bunch of different places published it. It's called The Three Pillars of Survival. There's actually an episode here where I talk about the three pillars of survival, and it's about how do we get help? What do we do to let everybody know there's danger? So the first pillar is preparation, right? We prepare ourselves. We do the right training. We train our staff. We have the right policy and procedure. We do the right drills. We get the right equipment in place, right? That's preparation. Then you have the second pillar, which is communication. How does somebody in the building tell everybody else there's danger? What do we do? How do you let people know? I'm on the second floor and I see a guy with a rifle in the parking lot. How do I tell the whole building there's danger and to lock down? And then the third pillar is you have preparedness, communication, and then how do you have response? How do you go out and call for help? How do you get someone to respond to you? How do you call the police? What method do you use to let the good guy and good girl guns know they should come and help you? All right, so that's the third pillar of survival. I went and did a threat assessment for a big district in upstate New York, and they added a fourth pillar, and that is mental health. They have mental health people in the school district, so when there is a threat or a student having a problem, they could reach out to them and solve problems before they happen. And I fully recommend that. But how do you make that call? How do you deal with the police getting to your building? What do you do? So I am a big proponent of making sure that in an emergency, the police can see your cameras. Oh, I know a lot of people, they get very verklempt over that. We don't want the police looking in here. Police could care less what your kids are doing other than causing danger and mayhem in your school. They're not going to be looking in just to see what your kids are doing so they can go lock them up. The cops don't care. They got other things to do. What they are worried about is danger in your school. And if there was someone with a weapon in your school and the police are notified, third pillar, right? How do you notify the police? And they could pop on your cameras and see in real time where that person is. It helps the officers responding. It helps them to solve the problem quicker. So I say, make sure you have a policy that allows the police to look in an emergency. And then you define what an emergency is and when they can look and you do it. Lots of cameras can do those kind of things. There's a company that I've worked for in the past. I've done things for them. That's a full disclosure. And the reason I worked for them is because I trust them. It's A Plus Technology out of Bayshore, New York. They do the whole East Coast, all over the place. They are absolutely amazing. They are honest. They do good work. They have the same belief that I do. They're worried about your safety and security as their number one priority. The owner is an amazing man, and that is his philosophy, which is the reason he had me come and do work for them to help them understand these things, right? So that's good. Mapping. Mapping is very important of your school. Now, there's lots of different products out there. Some states have mandatory mapping, that you have to have a mapping program. Well, I found one that is not just a hybrid. It's not just mapping. It is so much more that when my children would go to school, I would ask, do you have this program? Can we do a fundraiser to get it in here? Because it's that good. And that's 911 Inform. 911 Inform system. Again, an amazing company and an amazing product. With this product, say there's a problem going on at the school. Law enforcement can look in, they can see what's going on. The dispatcher can control the doors. So as the police are coming, you can tell where a call came from, calling for help. There's a mapping system and it lights up, and you can tell the cops room 307 is where the problem is. It's around the back of the building, door 9. And when the cops get there, they hit a button, opens that door. They can lock the whole building down in an instant. There's a call of a problem, boom, boom, lock it down. Absolutely amazing product. 100% recommend that. And I've seen lots of mapping products out there. 911 Inform. Okay. So here's some simple things, some simple pieces of equipment that you can look into. We can't all afford $400 automatic locks for our doors in our classroom. You might have hundreds or thousands of doors that have to be secured across your district. I understand how much money that is. We had 9 schools in my district. It was thousands of doors, right? It was crazy. So unless you build that into your new school, part of the budget, which is a great idea, do that. You want to make sure that any locks you have a easy to do tumbler, big motor skills, muscle skills, to just flip from inside the room and lock that door with a deadbolt. So we can do that automatically where you push a button, very expensive, or you can put in a little tumbler where the teacher during lockdown, boom, turns that and locks the door secure. That's a great product. If you're not going to do that, if you don't have money, because those are even expensive. What are they? $20 a piece, $10 a piece, times 1,000? That's a lot of money. What you can get are these little door magnets. And I used to have one here. I think I showed one on another episode. It's a little magnet about this big, and it goes across the throw of the door. You know where when you go to close the door and the little latch connects, right? Well, it blocks that from connecting. You put the door in the lock position. You put the magnet over the throw hole, and all day long the kids can come and go out of the classroom, no problem. In an emergency, from inside the classroom, the teacher simply pushes the magnet out of the way and closes the door. It's already pre-locked, so it snaps shut and it's locked. They cost about $4 a piece. They last for years. You put them on there and they're good. I had them in my school district, and the kids did not mess with them. The kids, first of all, they hardly noticed them, but the reality was it was a safety thing, and they were told don't touch them. It's for safety, and we never had a problem. Right? It's a little doormat. If you can't find them, you can reach out to me. I have access to them. Joe@pangarotraining.com. Joe@pangarotraining.com. Reach out to me, Lieutenant Joe. I'd like to know where to get the magnets, and I can help you get the magnets. All right, they're inexpensive. The next thing is, what we know about lockdowns is that we talk about time equals life here. The faster you can see danger, the faster you respond to it, the better chance you have of people surviving a dangerous situation. So the ability to secure your classroom quickly and securely is what's paramount. So you want to make sure that door is closed and locked. Then you want to cover the window in the door so that nobody can see in. The purpose being, what we've learned over years is that if somebody looks in and they can see you, you're in danger. But if they can't look in and they can't see you and they can't get through the door, they're going to move on because they're there to get as many victims as quickly as possible because they know who's coming, law enforcement. So they want to do their damage and they don't have time. Unless they're targeting you specifically in that room, they're going to move on. But the key is we've only seen one time where people shot through the windows, and that was in Parkland. And why did he do that? They had window covers and they pulled them down, and it wasn't all the way down in the nervousness of the emergency. The teacher couldn't get it down. He looked in, he saw students, and he shot them. Right? So what we do know is if you lock the door, cover the window completely, and then get in safety corners where nobody can see you, your chances go way up. Those are available in many places. Again, Joe at pangarotraining.com. Reach out to me and I'll connect you with the manufacturer. And they got them in all different sizes and shapes. In the district I was in, they told me they didn't have money for the window, for the covers for all the classroom door windows. So one of the teachers was thinking outside the box, brilliant young woman. She went and got, that colored paper that we all have in the schools, to do projects with. And she figured out the size of the window, and then she covered it with a laminate, and then she had Velcro around the window. And she had it sitting there in an emergency. She just, boom, threw it on the window. It connected to the Velcro, blocked the view. She locked the door and everybody got in safety corners. It didn't cost hardly anything to do that. So there's a lot of little simple things that you can do to secure. You don't have to spend, all this money on these. Some of them, they're very good. You take the metal thing, you put it in the ground, it's screwed into the floor, and those are a couple $100 a piece. You got 1,000 doors. That's a lot of money. There's lots of things you can do inexpensively, and that's it. So look at your cameras, right? You want to have the best cameras you can possibly have. Visitor management system. You want to get a mapping program like 911 Inform. Awesome, amazing company. A Plus Technology can help you. Call them. They'll answer your questions, right? They're in Bayshore, Long Island, right? Just look them up. A Plus Technology, great people. I totally recommend them. All right. So those are some of the things that I see that's out there. Now, the last thought I'm going to have here is a SOC. What's a SOC? Not something that goes on your foot. A Security Operations Center. So you got all these cameras. You invested all this money to see everything. If nobody's watching your cameras, all they really are is evidence gatherers so that after the fact, you can go back and look and see what happened. If you're going to have all them cameras, of all the things you're going to spend money on, set up a Security Operations Center and have someone in there to monitor those cameras. So when they see something, they can make an immediate call. Remember, time equals life. All right. So get your doors, the glass on your front doors, your side doors, all these places where people get in, lock the doors, and then get that covered with safety film. Riot Tint. Go call them. They're absolutely amazing. These are people that I trust, and that's why I talk about them. When I do an assessment, I don't usually give out names unless people ask me. And when they do, these are the names that I give them. All right. So I want to thank you for being here. This is just a couple of tips. Joe at pangarotraining.com if you have any questions, or if you want more information on any of these products. If you have a question about a product, I have lots of information about which ones really work and which ones don't. So remember, like, subscribe, and tell everybody about our channel. We're all in this together to keep our kids and everybody else safe. So this is Lieutenant Joe for Hope is Not a Tactic.